Hello everyone, welcome back to the 343 Football Podcast. I'm joined today with Dowd.
Hiya.
And myself, Ali. The next few weeks, the duo of Kadama and Jaffa won't be here. They're taking a 2-week break. So let's get into the fixtures. Man United, Leeds, the Charlton derby.
Yeah.
How did it go?
Well, some people would call it the M62 derby, won't they? If you've
They could also call it the Alan Smith derby.
well, yeah, that as well. We won 6-2. If anybody knew or has been following Twitter and all the Man United fans piping up about how potentially we could be title contenders, even though we've not looked like title contenders. We do have a game in hand, but if we win the game in hand, I think we're only 3 points off the top or 2 points off the top.
A couple of points with a game in hand, though, but
at the moment we're 5 points off the top. So the New Year fixtures haven't been played yet, and I think it's just a bit too early to say anything at the moment. But if the New Year's fixtures are to go anything to go by, Liverpool, if they stay top, the odds are on their favourite to win the Premier League again this year.
it looks like it's Liverpool to lose. But let's just talk about the actual game. Scott McSauce, how did he turn into Paul Scholes and Roy Keane in that
Merged
moment?
into one.
It's crazy.
Oh, he looked like he was proper driven, wasn't he? And the first goal was so sweetly hit right into the corner. I don't think either him himself or the keeper was expecting that type of finish. And then literally, within a minute later on, he scores again for his second. I mean, he could have had a hat-trick if Fernandes let him take that penalty, but I think I don't think you could take the ball off Fernandes.
You can't take that risk, can you? Let's be honest. Fernandes is clinical at the 60-yard.
Yeah, I mean, he is clinical. He's only missed once. But, I mean, to be fair, I think we were, 5-0 up at that time? Yeah. We were 5-0 up at that time. 70-minute pen. Where he could have definitely gave him that hat-trick. I don't know. If it was me, I would have probably given him a hat-trick. But nowadays, a lot of the players are just are spreading the goals and assists around, aren't they? If you can spread assists around, well, hopefully. So yeah, it was a weird one because we were definitely dominant and we were winning, 3-0 at a point after 20 minutes, and I thought, oh, it's still Leeds. It's weird because I don't know if it's
Leeds United, isn't it?
It's Leeds United, and I don't know if it's Man United and our troublesome defence worries and how Ollie's playing tactically. Even then, I was a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, 4-0 with Lindelof heading it in. I was feeling more conscious that this is 3 points in the bag, and then Liam Cooper, lush header, at the 41th minute before the half-time whistle. And I was thinking, oh, no.
Yeah, we talked about this between ourselves on text, and I was like, can Leeds make a comeback? Can this be Istanbul at Old Trafford, though?
Yeah, but then, yeah, it was unlikely. And Daniel James scored a goal. I was very impressed with Daniel James this match. He, and I don't know if I was impressed with what he's supposed to do, is run at defenders, try and get past them, try and make more space, trying to be an outlet for counter-attacking. But yeah, I partly think it was Ollie getting his tactics right. Ollie was actually realising that Leeds are a very attacking force and they leave open pockets a lot for it to be exploited. And Leeds don't necessarily have the quickest of centre backs. I know Luke Ayling was playing as a centre back for them today, so he's pretty quick, to be fair. So yeah, I think partly it's Ollie getting the tactics right, Leeds being stubborn and sticking with their attacking approach, and they didn't stop, and they got 2 goals. To be fair to them, on a different day, it could have been a different sort of story.
It could have been 10-5 basically. Let's be honest.
Well, I don't know if we scuffed half our chances. I mean, we had loads of chances.
Same with Leeds. Leeds had loads of chances as well.
Leeds hit the post. Yeah. It was a bit of a weird one because I think both teams came away and we went to. I think Bielsa would have been obviously a bit pissed off about
Man, he
losing
was
6-2.
shouting at some players, man. I didn't know who you shouting at though.
But like I felt like they tried to play just to the T. Their attacking movement, the defensive movement. Obviously, he's very big on man marking and not zonal marking, and you could tell a few times that they were the people who were letting go of the United players were at fault for some of the attacking parts of the game for United. So yeah, it should have been a comfortable win anyways. We're talking about Manchester United. I would have loved for the fans to be there.
Yeah, I think
would have been
the
completely
atmosphere would have been electric. You know, it'd be like a Rock coming to WrestleMania or something. Watching Manchester United and Leeds, the history behind both teams is the Battle of the Roses and the intensity this derby actually brings.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask a couple of questions regarding this. So, obviously you're a Manchester United fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. I want to know, who are Manchester United's biggest rivals? Like, this is since football started. Is it Leeds United because there's a Battle of the Roses going on? Is it Man City because they're the so-called noisy neighbours? Or is it Liverpool FC because obviously due to the Industrial Revolution, what happened between Manchester and Liverpool, and now both teams are two of the most successful teams in England?
It's hard to say because I'm going to be a bit biased with how I perceived the derbies as I was growing up. I only had whispers of the Man United and Leeds derbies because Leeds weren't, at that time they were dumped out of the Premier League. And I know, the surrounding or the media speculation surrounding Rio Ferdinand coming, and then he did come to United, and it was him leaving for a rival club.
Same thing happened with Alan Smith.
Yeah, and so I heard all about that, but I never saw it. And in my lifetime, I saw more of the Liverpool and Man United rivalry. I saw more of the Arsenal one with Wenger and Fergie.
That's a classic. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then I even saw the Man City
Man United one as well.
Man United one, yeah, and it's a bit of a weird one because when Ferguson wanted to retire, and obviously that famous Man City Premier League win on the last
6-1.
The famous Premier League win.
The QPR moment, you're saying, yeah?
Yeah, the QPR 3.
Aguero!
Yeah, that one. So I don't know. It's a hard one. I would say Liverpool, to be honest with you, because the early noughties.
Yeah, not just that. If you went through the 60s, 70s, and some parts of the 80s, Liverpool were dominant, and in the late 80s to I'd say 2012, Manchester United dominated that.
Yeah,
let's be honest. I do get where you're coming from. I see it. If you're in England, you're going to see Manchester United and Leeds as the bigger so-called derby, because obviously the history behind it. It's Lancashire versus Yorkshire. Man, this has been put on Game of Thrones. It's Stark versus Lannister, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I would say Liverpool for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I would say even I had a bit of I didn't like Arsenal a lot because of how Wenger was. And
I can imagine
a
Wenger and
favoritism.
Fergie beef going on.
I think nearly all the clubs bar from Man United say we get a lot of favoritism with Fergie time and everything. But yeah.
Okay. I want to ask one more question before we do move on to the next team. Liverpool doing 7 in heaven again. I want to know, before we discuss that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was this a tactical genius of him doing this? Was this what he planned, or was this just fluke? Because it looked like a negative team. There was no Paul Pogba in the team. There was no Van de Beek in the team at the time. They were both on the bench.
I think I texted you this, didn't I? I think it was a bit of a disrespectful lineup because it definitely wasn't the strongest lineup against Leeds.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like we were trying to get more match fitness, more game time for certain individuals in the team. Obviously, we've got our superstar at the moment, Bruno Fernandes, who literally plays every game.
You mean Bruno Fernandes, yeah?
well, he's been scoring goals other than pens, and if anything, okay, just give him the assist. His assists are class, and he's the only, honestly, and I feel like even in the 90th minute, this guy is trying his hardest to get a ball, to get another goal, or to assist, or to just to even put pressure on the opposition. Just as the game was about to finish, he was making an absolute full pelt run, and Daniel James was bringing it. Took the ball and started taking it to the corner to get waste some time. And in part of me, it feels like, Bruno Fernandes actually wanted to try and make something out of it. And he's just that type of player, and I think he's an absolute bargain for what we've got him for what he brings to the team. And then Scott McTominay as well, he's playing class. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go on about it because I could go about it all day.
Yeah, I get that. I just wanted your opinion. Was this a tactical masterclass by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or were Leeds just too naive, or was it a bit of both?
I think it was a bit. Yeah, I think I have to give it to Solskjaer this week. He definitely his tactics worked a treat. And honestly, I don't even think Leeds. Some of the Leeds players were pretty decent. I know Phillips.
Dallas's goal was amazing. Though.
Dallas' goal was really good. Phillips was substituted at half time. He didn't have that much. He didn't have a great game, to be fair. He just didn't rise to the occasion. But Rafinha was playing class. Rodrigo was even playing really good as well. Bamford, as much as
Bamford had opportunities. He could have had a couple of goals.
I feel like every game he's trying something. I don't know if he's become a bit of a veteran and he's actually matured. He knows what to do in the box, and you just feel scared. You feel scared what he's going to do.
Do you think it's PTSD the time he had in Middlesbrough?
He tried to break.
Nobody cares about Middlesbrough, let's be honest.
Well, yeah.
Right, nobody cares about them. Nobody cares about Sunderland. It's all about Newcastle and the North East. Right, moving on to the next topic. Crystal Palace, Liverpool FC. This game has always had crazy moments. If it's Liverpool beating Palace 9-0, or if it's Crystal Palace beating them in a FA Cup tournament, or if it's the famous Istanbul where Luis Suarez is crying. But this game was 7-0, 7 heaven by Liverpool FC. What did you think of it?
Well, yeah, and I know, if Jaff was here, ever since he said, don't talk shit about Roy Hodgson, his team hasn't been playing
I wish Jaffa was here right now. Where is he?
Talking
shit about Roy Hodgson, eh? To be honest with you, it wasn't Hodgson's fault. Liverpool were just out of this world. They're just on another level. Like, after beating Tottenham, they just wanted to smash a team. Man, in what Troops normally says, Palace got bodied. That's what it was.
Yeah, Palace did get bodied, and just look at their last 6 matches. They've only won 1, lost 3, drawn 2, and I mean, to be fair, if you want to just scrape for survival in the Premier League, yeah, keep on doing those type of matches. But with the team that Crystal Palace have got, and like Jeff said, with what Roy Hodgson has got in terms of his track record, that's not good enough for him whatsoever. They just didn't turn up, and I partly feel like Liverpool were just.
They were too good.
They were just full of confidence.
For once, just give Liverpool Football Club credit and playing amazing. Minamino finally got on the goal, on the score sheet.
I'm warming up to him now.
No, he's a quality player. He just needs to find his place in that team. Because it's such a quality team. Imagine what Alex Ferguson was doing with that Manchester United team. Imagine a player coming in like, oh crap, how am I going to find my place in this team? You have him. You have Firmino turning into Prime Ronaldo somehow. I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, when he plays with confidence, it seems like honestly nobody can touch him.
Yeah, it's
first goal
it's crazy.
That touch and then that little side, not a dink, but like a side pass in the goal.
But he knows where it's going. It's strange. Like people say, Roberto Firmino's not a good player, but he's a player which needs confidence. Then you look at Sadio Mane scoring a goal. Klopp takes him off, puts Salah on. Mane was fuming, and Salah got a brace as well. So it was good for the whole team, and obviously it was great going into this so-called Christmas period. You
Well,
know,
yeah,
if Liverpool turn up right now, because it just did this last season, where like they smashed Leicester 4-0, and everyone was talking about Leicester challenging for the league.
yeah.
Yeah, so there's nothing really else to
Well,
say about Liverpool, is there?
Leicester are second this year again, coming to the Christmas.
Yeah, but they haven't been playing great at home. Leicester haven't been playing great at home. They've been playing great away from home. The only time they've actually lost away from home is at Anfield. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I see Leicester, I just feel like they're such a hot and cold club. But then you see what they're doing, and they've lost 5 games and they've won 9, and they're just such a hot and cold club. In my personal opinion, this year, I feel like Rodgers is sometimes getting his tactics completely right, absolutely blowing away teams. His team's playing absolutely class, and then certain other matches, I'm just like, what? Like, what this is what's happened here? Is he just not got it right? Yeah,
Right.
he's lost two. What was it 2-1 against Fulham? And I was just thinking, what the hell? Like,
It's crazy, isn't it? This brings me to obviously the next team to talk about, our Spurs Bottle-jobs. You know, they were talking about last week of challenging for the league. Now they draw against Palace, they lose against Liverpool, and then they lose against Leicester.
yeah.
You know,
And Mourinho was really bitter after the match as well.
yeah, man, that guy is salty, man. He's salty than a freaking salted pretzel.
You know why? Because I feel like when he does lose these types of matches, when he was on a bit of a high from the previous week, it's stupid mistakes from his players.
Mm-hmm.
And Serge Aurier, that was a stupid nudge in the back, honestly. And I felt like he must have been really irked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Nonetheless, I have to give it to Leicester. They had a game plan and they executed it perfectly well.
Jamie Vardy just brought the party
Jamie
to
Vardy brought the
Spurs.
party.
Let's be honest. You know,
Exactly.
that's what it is. But you know what? I'm gonna give some credit to Serge Aurier. His brother obviously got shot in June or July. I can't remember what month it is. And obviously, his motivation to still play in a Spurs team and play throughout every week in every game, even though Doherty's on the actual bench, you know, it's just credit to him. You know, someone going through that, it's tough.
It is tough, but I think he was already playing regularly before because that's how Mourinho wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted
Yeah.
him to be a strong attacking right back, and I think that fits his notion of a right back and what he wants from the team. He's probably not the person he wants, but he has to deal with what he's got.
Yeah, of course.
It's a bit of a weird one because I feel like Serge Aurier is a really good player, but he's not a top flight player because he makes those silly mistakes too often.
Yeah, he got away with them when he was at PSG. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he did really because they sold him because they just thought he wasn't up to the knack of
Oh no,
being
that's
consistent enough.
not why he sold him. Well, excuse my language here, but
He wasn't being consistent enough.
it wasn't that. What he did was he took a piss out of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, saying his frickin' nose is absolutely massive, right? He went on a rant about Thiago Silva, calling him a ladyboy or whatnot.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, you could check this up. Serge Aurier is a crazy dude for saying these things. I'm like, what the heck? You said this again, like against the best team in France, your teammates,
Yeah,
and
teammates, yeah.
and your captain Thiago Silva. Obviously, he's not the captain there anymore, but at the time he was.
Yeah.
You know, so where do you think Spurs are going to finish? Obviously, with what's going on, do you think they're going to finish top 4? Obviously, they're not going to win the league.
It's hard.
It's Tottenham.
I've said this before though. They have a run of really, you know, a lot of matches under their belt where they've got wins and it's just in succession, and then they'll go on a losing rut. If Kane or Son gets injured, who do they have to get that consistency against those games? And you know what it is? I'm a bit worried for them because they've got a lot of matches coming up. And notoriously for Spurs, this is the time where after these matches, they start getting injuries. They start getting those niggles, and some of the players just obviously can't take the amount of playing time and not rest up enough time, and then obviously go to Europa League and all that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. This time last week, Spurs were first, actually. Obviously, Liverpool was second because of the goal difference. And now, a week later, they're fifth. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
You know,
But that just shows you that it's just early, and it's just it's too hard to say anything about the Premier League and where everything's gonna land.
well, there's one thing we can assure is Arsenal are losing it. You know, this is meant to be a team which is apparently meant to be charging for the league because they bought Thomas Partey. You know, where's the party at, Thomas? No, but seriously, in all seriousness, like, what the fuck is going on at Arsenal Football Club?
Yeah, and you know what it is? We've brought Arsenal up in the last 2 weeks as well, and I think just before anybody says we're the next new Arsenal fan TV whatever, or Arsenal's a talking point, or they're not a big enough club or whatever, I just feel like how big Arsenal are and where they are, it's a talking point because it's like watching someone slowly die, and it's like watching Arsenal slowly slip away from being that club that might be so dominant, and they're reaching a new stage of their club stature that is mid-table team, and I just, that's why I keep bringing it up, and I definitely think all Arsenal fans should be very worried where Arteta and the board are taking this team, or how the team are even playing, because the team aren't playing that well, and Arteta's tactics on going well, and 100%. January, they're not going to sign the players that they need and who they need.
Yeah, this is quite embarrassing for myself because I remember the very first episode of our podcast, I did discuss who's the best manager out of the three: Lampard, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Mikel Arteta. And I actually said Mikel Arteta.
Yeah,
and
you
I said,
dumbass.
Do you remember though?
You dumbass.
No, I think.
I mean, to be fair,
he's a good coach. You know, he is a good coach. You need to remember that. You know what he did with the Arsenal team. Obviously, it was a bounce, but he's not a stupid guy. Let's be honest. He's making some silly mistakes by playing Hector Bellerin instead of Cedric Suarez. That's one. And obviously, the strange decision of not playing Lacazette over Nketiah, that's bogus.
Well, Nketiah has been his go-to for these weird and wonderful tactic revelations that he's trying to commit to Arsenal to playing. And you know what it is? I just feel like sometimes, you know, if let's say Arsenal got it right, and some of the tactical decisions that Arteta has been making for the last, I don't know, 5 matches, if some of them come off, you would say, oh, you know, that's Arteta. Actually, he's showing that he's getting it right. And sometimes in football, just things don't go for you. And I think that's where Arsenal's board are looking at, thinking, well, we need results. And we understand we've got a manager that's, tinkering with his team, trying to get the right things. He's seeing what's working, what's not. But how long can we have this going on for? Because Arsenal are not a team that can't afford that. And I'm pretty sure that the board can't afford that type of they can't afford that type of experiment. That's simply the truth. And to be fair, they've got 14 points. It's
14 points.
Yeah, like Fulham, West Brom, Sheffield.
Man,
Yeah,
that's Arsenal's favourite number, 14.
Well, the thing is, Sheffield and West Brom are 2 points and 7 points, and I respectively. And I don't think, I don't even think they're gonna even, get any more points, get that many more points. So Arsenal definitely have a couple of months leeway. So if they start losing for the next couple of months, I think they've still got enough of a pocket to to bounce back. Possibly.
I remember obviously when Leeds went down. Obviously, you didn't watch much of Leeds when you were younger. I did because I have uncle who's a Leeds United fan. You know, he was telling me about Mark Viduka, Alan Smith, Rio Ferdinand come from West Ham.
I remember all those players. I was just too young at the time to understand what was happening.
Yeah, I've got a couple of years on you see, so I do remember a bit of it.
You know, the thing for me when I was growing up, the worst thing you could be called was a Mackem.
Yeah, that's true. That is true, man.
I was too caught up with people in my school calling me a Mackem, and I was going home crying, thinking, "No, I can't be a Mackem."
Oh wow, man! How the heck did Sunderland end up on this podcast? I'll never know, man. It's the only time.
Carry on about it.
Okay, I wanted to discuss obviously the so-called downfall of Arsenal Football Club. So, like, obviously when Arsene Wenger left, he glued that football club together, man. Like,
He changed so many
it's
things.
Amazing.
Well, he changed so many things. He was a pioneer for a lot of things, like the diet stuff and how they trained and how many times they
Of
trained.
course.
Compared to what the other footballers were doing at the time, and that's where he started making these signings that some of the unknowns that he did sign, obviously were the best signings that they could ever make, and obviously went on having that invincible season.
Yeah, but what I don't get is what do Arsenal Football Club need? Because they've had an experienced manager in Arsene Wenger. Obviously, he had to go at that time because that's what the fans wanted, and they put pressure on the board. But straight afterwards, they brought a experienced manager, Unai Emery, who's won titles.
I think the fans are justified asking for change with Wenger because they've had enough time with Wenger, seeing where the club's going, and even after initially when they started bubbling up with Wenger out, all this type of stuff. I think the board give Wenger adequate time to make turn things around to a point where basically Wenger you just get tired of all tricks, don't you? So I don't know if they're trying to do the same, and I don't know if it's just a financially reasonable thing. I know, the things I was talking about.
Money's been thrown at it though. Like they've got good players.
They have, but I don't think they've thrown at the right people though.
Yeah, I understand that, but they spent money on Partey, they spent money on Gabriel. Obviously, I think out of Leno and Martinez, they should have kept Martinez because he won those trophies for Arsenal. Obviously, the FA Cup and the so-called Community Shield.
Well, out of all the players for Arsenal, Leno was playing still very, very good.
Yeah, but have you seen how shit that team is right now?
No, but come on, man. Let's be honest. If you're saying in terms of a business financial thing, they should have sold Leno for some money, and they would have got a lot of money because he's definitely
he's an established player.
He's at his best, he's top 5 in the world. Let's be honest with you.
Top 5?
Oh, 100%. He's one of the best shot stoppers.
Let me name 5 goalkeepers better than man like Leno, who flumped up at Leverkusen for goalkeeping flops. Go check it out on YouTube. Right, Alisson Becker. This is no word about it. Alisson Becker's 1. Edison's number 2. I think De Gea's a better shot stopper than him. You got Neuer. You got Ter Stegen. You've got Oblak, the 6er. How can he be top 5?
Yeah, okay. Top 10. Top 10.
Man, you just got bodied, bro.
Top 10. He definitely be
top 10. Is he better than Dubravka though? Let's be honest. He's a good shot stopper. He could be on Dubravka's level. Let's be honest.
Well,
or Darlow, man, Darlow's doing okay.
Darlow's playing class at the moment.
Man, starts showing he's doing amazing, man.
Even Dean Henderson last year. But anyways,
let's move on to when Dowd said Leno's top 5.
Well, okay, I've made a mistake. I'm comfortable with myself to say that I've made a mistake. I meant top 10. Obviously, I meant top 10. Let's say top 5 in the Premier League. Yeah, that's what I meant.
I don't think he's even top 5 in the Premier League.
No, man. If at his prime, obviously, it's hard because obviously if you have shitty, of
course, if you have a shit defense, what can you do? I get defense,
that. And how many times can you plug a hole in? Do you know what I mean? Before it leaks.
Man, that's leaky FC there, man.
Well, with that, with the defense they've got 100%. Rob Holding was the captain for this match.
I did not get that. Explain this to me.
This is one of those things I'm telling you. These are the things that Arteta is trying to do. Where if it worked, he would have been lauded as what a genius. This is actually him. Some of his tactics and what he can bring, and slowly with confidence, he'll start doing other things. And the other things that he's done so far haven't worked.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob Holding as a captain didn't work. And then sometimes I think about it, who else could take that position as a captain? Because they're all washouts. They're all shit.
Yeah, but okay, you could have David Luiz as a captain. He's a lot more experienced.
What does experience sometimes? Necessarily. Okay, let's put the most experienced player as a captain. Doesn't it necessarily mean...
No, it doesn't, but wasn't Arteta looking to get Rob Holding out of Arsenal and send him to Newcastle on loan earlier this summer, though? Like why make him the captain? You could have put Lacazette on, had Lacazette as the captain. You could
I
have had
would have said
David.
Lacazette,
You could have had Louise.
I don't think Louise
Like,
whatsoever.
I'll be honest with you, Maitland-Niles would have made a better captain than freaking Rob Holding.
Well, he tries harder.
Like, Kieran Tierney,
Kieran Tierney as well, yeah.
man, he should be the captain of Arsenal Football Club.
He's if anything the semi consistent player for them. Even Ceballos when he plays, I generally feel like I don't know why they don't play Ceballos all the time. It's just a weird one. It's hard. I just feel like Arsenal's a mess.
There's an agenda at Arsenal that obviously Edu's came into like the board of directors or whatnot. He's up there now with them, and obviously he's scouting players in. So he brought Martinelli in, and obviously there's been,
which was a really good.
It was a great move. Martinelli's a quality player. I'd love him at Liverpool. I'll be honest with you. The development he could have under Jurgen Klopp. Oh wow, man! But what I want to discuss is there some sort of agenda where Edu is trying to screw Arsenal over with Louise and Willian? I'm being serious.
Conspiracy theory.
No, I'm being serious, right? You brought Willian over. Like, Willian is dog shite, let's be honest. You have the odd good set piece which will go into the net. And David Luiz, another contract extension after he flopped against Man City. Do you remember that game?
This is the thing. Why I honestly can't see David Luiz as a captain. He's not mature enough. He doesn't make mature decisions on the pitch. I feel like he's so emotionally unstable on the pitch. You see it like
you see a Sideshow Bob in him, don't you?
No, well,
let's be honest. What is Sideshow Bob?
No. What I'm trying to say is when you have a leader, he stays tough. He stays gritty towards hard times in the game.
So basically, Jordan Henderson.
I would say like Jordan Henderson, right? But Luiz, his head will drop straight away. And I sometimes I have seen him where he spurs on in the match and he tries something but it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And that for me, those two things where if you tried and it spurred on and it actually worked and you knew how to turn things around, I would say David Luiz is class, but he's not. He shouldn't be the captain for Arsenal for 100%.
So, right, if you were an Arsenal fan, thank God you're not, and thank God I'm not an Arsenal fan. What would you want the board to do? Would they sack Arteta?
It's hard. I'm not one of those types of fans or even a football. I don't know, like a football fan in general to say we should sack a manager. It's hard because January's coming around. Do they want to put a manager in now where they've got enough time to assess the squad and then actually have transfer targets set up for them to sign in January? Or do you want to take the risk and carry on Arteta and sign the players that he wants for the team? And I think that's where the board have to make the decision. I just think if I was the board.
But remember, we're talking about Stan Kroenke here.
This season's a write-off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not be silly here. Their aim now is to try and get 7th or top 10. Yeah.
If that's possible.
It is possible. But
look. Any team can go down. Liverpool can go down. Manchester United could go down. We've seen it with Leeds. We've seen it with Nottingham. We've seen it with Aston Villa. We've seen it with Newcastle.
Okay, let's be realistic. Like, if I had to... when you think about it as a business person, man. Think about it... Man,
I got a business degree. I know a business person.
Think about statistical wise. Are you saying that Liverpool are probably going to go down?
No, but at the point under Roy Hodgson, there was talk about Liverpool can get relegated.
Yeah, so
there were points then. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying this season, their realistic target is try and get 7th place or even top half of the table. So for the board, they would have accepted that by now, 100%. There's no, they must be absolute idiots if they
They are idiots. They are actual idiots.
Let's get over this.
Man, why am I getting emotional over Arsenal Football Club? What the heck?
So what they need to do is basically try to make that decision. Do we stick with Arteta and sign the players that he wants to sign? Or do we get a new manager in now, and see what he wants in terms of transfer targets and go with his philosophy and with his project it's going to be either going to be project new manager or project Arteta continues.
Right. Okay. So, if you're an Arsenal fan, this is what I asked. Are you Arteta in or Arteta out? If you're an Arsenal fan.
So if I was the board now,
No, as an Arsenal fan, what would you want? That's what I'm trying to say. Not the board.
what would I want? I'd want to see Arteta stay in, and then for the club to suffer more to realise. No, because
Yeah, I know. I think I know where you come from.
I was at the stage with United. I was at a point where, like, fuck me, like the board are so oblivious. Fucking Ed Woodward doesn't understand. He needs a fucking director of football to get some of these signings over the line to actually get us up to that. Just push us up to that level that we think that sometimes we are at. And for Arsenal, I just think that they're overinflated heads, that they think that they're a top 6 team with the way that they're currently playing now. They're not, and the board probably thinks that, so they need a bit of a reminder, and they just need Arteta in. If it works perfect. I'm happy for Arteta. I think he's a good guy. He's learned a lot of good stuff. Generally, the way he wants to play football is something that I actually want to see Arsenal play football, just English football. But if I wanted to actually say what I'd say Arteta in just to see if it's going to burn.
Yeah.
And if it does burn, there's going to be a lot of changes. If I was an Arsenal fan, and I think the changes, hopefully, will be a change in the right direction. But that's the thing, you can just hope, can't you? So it's a funny
I
one.
agree with that. Surprisingly, like Liverpool were in this position. I wouldn't say Manchester United are the new Liverpool. I'd say Arsenal's the new Liverpool. They win the odd trophies, but they're not what they were before. You know, what were Arsenal Football Club?
It just
They were known
patches
as the
over.
Invincibles.
Yeah, it patches over. You know.
But I wanted to also make a statement and obviously ask you this: if Arsenal did get relegated or stay in this so-called form, would the board sell? You know, they want to make money, so
Possibly a pre-corona time. Yeah, I would say there'll be plenty of suitors. Are you telling me that nobody wants that massive stadium in the heart of London? Oh,
No.
100%. I don't think they'll ever sell. They'll only sell if it gets really, really shit.
that's what I'm saying. So if Arsenal get worse,
It could sell.
Yeah.
And I think that'll work more in benefit for the Arsenal team.
talk about selling. We'll be moving on to the next segment, which will be talking about signings in the January transfer market. So we'll be going through the bottom 5, including Arsenal, obviously, because Arsenal are really
So
bottom
the
6. Let's be
bottom
honest.
6, yeah.
Right. Do you want to go first with your player for Sheffield United?
Do you want to start off with 20?
Yeah, Sheffield United. Go for it.
So yeah, Sheffield United. So with Sheffield United, they were playing like really good football last season, and I loved the way that they used to play football. It was a lot of the triangle stuff that we've talked about before. How Pep tries to integrate his attacking work rate alongside moving the ball up the pitch as much as they can, and I just feel like this year they're missing a spark and some pace. And for me, I was torn between Damari Gray or Balassi, and I feel like because Damari Gray is not getting enough game time for Leicester, most likely Damari Gray on a loan. But I feel like Damari Gray, he'll probably look at the Sheffield United picture and be like, well, if they go down and I was playing for them, this looks bad on me. So I think Yannick Balassi is the target they're most likely going to sign. If I was a Sheffield United manager, just to bring in the pace and the creativity and the wings.
Well, the player which I went for, surprisingly, obviously, made Arsenal Football Club his own dancing ground. Jesse Lingard. Obviously, he hasn't been playing much, and he'll need some sort of game time, regardless if Sheffield get relegated or not. He's going to need game time. He'll want to play football. Obviously, Sheffield's not that far from Manchester, so it might suit him.
Yeah, never thought about it like that, yeah.
You know, that's why that can happen. That's if, obviously, Jesse Lingard doesn't think Sheffield are a small club.
Yeah. I mean, he's played with the Championship before though. Well, I don't know if it's going to get to his head, Joe. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got, looking at his status on, on social media. Yeah, I could see that. I could see where you're coming from with that.
Right, let's get to West Brom, number 19.
West Brom, go on, you go first.
Well, there could be different options. You've mentioned a few options as well, but I went with Divock Origi. What Big Sam did last time when he was in charge of Crystal Palace, he brought an experienced Liverpool player in, which didn't play much, was Sacco. He brought him on loan to solidify the Palace defence because that's what they needed at the time. Right now, West Brom need goals. So Divock Origi is the perfect signing for them, really, let's be honest. He obviously isn't your quality striker, but he's decent for a backup, and I think he's good enough for West Brom to get 7-8 goals out of the second half of the season.
Yeah. So for me, I'm thinking along the same lines of a tall, strong centre forward to try and bring in more of the goals. And I know, Big Sam. He loves a big, tall centre, strong forward.
Big Sam also likes his food.
Yeah. But I mean, don't get us wrong. They've got a few good players. I say a few good players. I'm trying to think of players that, seeing how Big Sam has had his teams play in the past, and what they would try and get out of him. And for me, I'm thinking Andy Carroll. He might want to reunite himself with Andy Carroll, and he. Oh
yeah, they were both at West Ham. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, and he played well under Big Sam. Obviously, bar the injuries. And he's not getting that much game time at Newcastle. But I don't know if Andy Carroll's a bit too settled here. My other one was Czech Tosin.
I think that's a realistic option because he went on loan at Palace last season, didn't he? So
yeah,
that's a quality shout though.
So I think it's Czech Tosin because of what he can bring in terms of heading, his prowess, well, his physicality in the box. But I don't know. I think Czech Tosin would be the person that they want to get him on loan.
Yeah, it's a really good shout, like I said. Let's go to number 18, Fulham. You want to go ahead because I went last time?
Yeah, Fulham, I think they need to sign Emi Buendia from Norwich.
Right.
That guy is way too good for the Championship. Honestly, he was class when he was in the Premier League as well.
Yeah, he was.
They need the creativity. They need to get the best out of Mitrovic if they think that they're going to survive in this Premier League, because they're not. If it's Scott Parker, I mean, I like the guy a lot, and I liked him when he was a player. He was a class player. Played with his heart in his mouth, but he needs to find more creativity. And it's a funny one because on paper, when Fulham signed half their players, they look like proper good signings. Yeah. They just haven't performed. I mean, Buendia has performed in English football.
Yeah,
he will link up with Mitrovic very, very well.
See, I'm going on a different line here because I think Fulham are all right going forward. Obviously, they got a draw at Liverpool. They got a draw with Newcastle. So obviously, for them, that's good for Fulham.
They're not getting the best out of Mitrovic, though. I know Bobby Reid scored 4 goals. Ademola Lookman scored 2.
He could have had more, though, let's be honest.
Yeah,
Lookman could have had a lot more goals if he didn't fuck up penalties.
Yeah.
But
Mitrovic is where it's at. He is, when he has a good season.
Yeah, basically it's like Nitro's on fire. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
right. What I'm going with is solidity at the back, so bring Shane Duffy from Celtic on loan. He was quality when he played for Brighton, went to Celtic, the so-called champions of Scotland. It's not going well for him. Bring him back on 6-month loan, bring some confidence back, bring a solidity to Fulham's defence. That's what I'm thinking, because I think they do have the creativity going forward, but it just needs a click. One game can just make it all click, and that's it. With the defence, you need organisation, you need stability. If you want to stay in the Premier League, you need clean sheets. You need points. You could go gun ho and lose games like Leeds did with Manchester United, or you could solidify defence and get points.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on to Brighton, 17th position.
Right. The player which I went for is Daniel James.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah. But do you not think Daniel James? I mean, they've signed Adam Lallana. Do you not think that's kind of what they wanted him to do, Daniel James?
I see you got a Lallana on the free because he was there to get.
Yeah.
But Lallana hasn't really performed. He's been hard working in the midfield, and he's done his fair share of work. But the creativity going forward, getting those goals and assists, I think Daniel James could add that quality. You know, you seen how he was on the weekend, like I said, with the Leeds United and Manchester United game. Actually, I want to quickly mention this. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer play Daniel James because Leeds United want him? So there's a bit of a psychological thing going there.
Well, the commentators kept mentioning it, didn't they?
Yeah.
He was so close, literally so close to get over the line, yet he didn't sign for them.
Man, that's naughty by Solskjaer. I like it. I respect it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a lot of speculation.
But yeah,
I think more of a tactical approach for me.
Right. Yeah, getting back to the transfer target. I think Daniel James could bring a different dimension to Brighton. Mm-hmm. So with Graham Potter, who's a great attacking football coach, I think that's where he needs to exploit his strengths.
Yeah, well, I put Renato Sanchez because they need to do a Swansea. They need to do a Swansea and get him on loan, because he's playing slightly better than he did when obviously he was at Swansea. He didn't play great at all, but from what I've seen him and how he can play, I just feel like he's the only person that they need to, because the way Graham Potter has had Brighton play sometimes, honestly, they played really good football. I just feel like Renato Sanchez just fits the type of guy that he needs. Your
box-to-box midfielder, bringing a different dimension to the game.
Yeah, box-to-box. Like he's got his attacking side, but then he's really good at defending and spreading the play around. Well, he can be. That's the thing. I think Graham Potter will have to try and get it out of him. He's playing all right at the moment, but yeah, they need to do a Swansea and get him on loan.
Right, going to Burnley. Number 16.
I thought Daniel James for Burnley.
Really?
Yeah, because the way Burnley play is very compact, compact football, and I mean, I think if any club wants to use their tall, strong strikers, it's Burnley, and they do that with Chris Wood. And I just feel like they need to add a little bit of something else to it, and they need the pace of Daniel James just to open it up a bit more. Right.
The player I actually went for is David Brooks from Brighton. I can't see Daniel James in a Burnley kit. Going from Manchester United to Burnley, that's a bit of a downgrade. But going to Brighton, there's like a bit of a project there. There's something going on there. You could see it at Brighton, but at Burnley, it's just stay in the league.
Still football.
Yeah.
It's
Sean Dyche FC. He likes to play. He likes to play his two blocks of fours, have his centre forwards, and that's it. And I think David Brooks on the left or right can obviously whip some crosses in. Chris Wood could head them on. That's where I went for it. But for a bonus one, obviously we mentioned Arsenal Football Club because obviously the dog shit.
I feel like we need to talk about them. They are 15th in the league. And they're 6 positions away from the bottom, and it's a hard one obviously because they need to sign loads of players. But if they were to sign one player, who would you want them to sign?
Right, I think this is ambitious. I don't think it's gonna happen. But I was like, you know what, Arsenal need creativity. I can't see them signing Houssem Aouar. So Philip Coutinho on loan. That's what I said.
But isn't he getting a lot of game time at Barcelona anyways?
Yeah, but
so why would he relegate himself?
But it's not him relegating himself. Maybe Barcelona needs to sell him. Obviously, they're in a financial crisis. Yeah, that's the way I'm seeing it.
But would Arsenal ever pay he's definitely worth 100 mil.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But I'm seeing a loan to the end of the season because you see what he did with Bayern Munich. He did Barcelona inside out, his own parent club.
Yeah, but I don't think.
You look at where Arsenal are. Yeah, Liverpool were that 5 years ago. 5-6 years ago, Liverpool were that.
Not 14th.
Not 14th, but But Coutinho was the main the main player in
outlet
Liverpool.
for them
Yeah,
for a while.
he was. So that's what they're missing. Obviously, for whatever reasons, Arsenal don't want to play Mesut Ozil, and they need creativity. And Arteta was looking for Houssem Aouar, but he's not getting him. So it looks like Coutinho's the next best option if he wants a creative player.
Yeah. Well, mine wasn't as ambitious as yours, and it was a bit more level-headed in terms of who's available and who they could realistically get, and pay their wages. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Is Christian Eriksen?
Yeah.
Because he's hardly playing at Inter Milan. He's playing absolutely dog shite there, and he probably wants to come back to a league where he's actually been playing decently.
But do you not think Ericsson would feel a bit embarrassed? You know, he went in Milan, he's not getting no game time. He left a North London club like Tottenham. Now he's come back to Arsenal, isn't it? It's got a bit of the Sol Campbell thing. I like the move. It's a bit juicy. You know, I could see that the Sun writing some weird shit in the tabloids. I don't buy the Sun, people.
I just don't feel like Eriksen's that type of player that gives a shit about any of that.
Yeah, but
he just wants to perform on the pitch.
The so-called British media will actually focus on that so much. The North London derby, just imagine it, or the build-up for Christian Eriksen. You know, every tabloid's going to have that on the back pages, easy.
Could do. I honestly, I don't even think he's that much of a high-profile signing for them.
I do see where there is a decline.
There is a decline, but I just think he's aged a bit. He's coming in as just a prime backup, but I don't know if it's just to help the youngsters at the same time. He's a level-headed person in terms of how he plays. He has a lot of creativity, and he's proven in the Premier League, and that's personally for me, that's what I'd want for Arsenal if I was an Arsenal fan.
Okay, I get that.
No, I'll never will be.
Okay, that's a wrap. Dowd, do you just want to go off with obviously the social media platforms and just let everyone know where they can follow us and listen to our podcast?
Yeah, so as usual, we've got our YouTube channel, The Dressing Room, and on all major streaming apps and software, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. We're on as the 343 Football Podcast. So find us there. You can always visit our website, thedressingroom.football, and follow us on our social medias as well. We've got the Dressing Room 9. We've got TD Room 9. And we've got obviously the Facebook group.
Just before we do obviously head off, I do want to give out a shout to Tactical Manager TV. He actually got Alan Smith on a show.
Yeah, no.
So give a shout out to him. Guys, go follow Tactical Manager TV.
I would definitely go follow him. He's got a lot of good content. So yeah.
Thanks,
that's
guys.
A wrap. Thank you. Bye now.
Cheers.